night just so I can get the high grades, just so I can pass. And there are some classmates of mine who are just, sleeping, no? Well, we are roommates and I can see them just sleeping, but here I am studying the whole night. But when when examination comes and the result come out, ano pa rin ako, last pa rin ako, fail pa rin ako. And those who are, sleeping, maybe they are very intelligent, got the top score, no? So we have been thinking, why do some individuals excel while others fail? Why do students experience, burnout? Why do they drop their classes, even drop out of college? What is the impact of stress, of workload, or the study load? Controlled sociability, di ba? Hindi tayo makalabas-labas sa ating dormitory, sa ating bahay, no? What is the impact of sleep, of mental well-being on educational performance? Well, according to numerous research, it was indicated that there is a positive relationship between mental health and academic achievement. The mental health field has traditionally focused on psychological ill health, such as symptoms of anxiety or depression. Now, according to the World Health Organization, and I always hear this from my mentors, no, the most common mental health disorder among adolescents include obsessive compulsive disorder, no? Ito na yung mga old na ginagamit nila, no? Obsessive compulsive disorder, attention deficit hyperactive disorder. We have, the bipolar disorder, impulse disorder, and oppositional defiance disorder. Now, I know that this has been discussed extensively by Dr. Gayares in her talk during the past few months, and I won't be talking about that anymore. But when adolescents struggle with mental health problems, they often have attendance problems. Di po ba? They don't usually go to class if it's a face-to-face class, no? Or even if it's in a virtual class, hindi mo alam if they are around, di po ba? Difficulty completing assignments, hindi ma-submit ang assignment, increased conflicts with adults and peers. And because of this, it has negatively impacted their academic productivity and their interpersonal relationship. And as a result of such problem, there are a lot of college students, which is deemed to be very, very high dropout of school annually. So marami po ang nagde-drop out, marami ang hindi nakakatapos, marami ang hindi pumapasok, pumapalya, nagka-cutting classes because of this. Now, let's take a look at the different studies conducted by field specialists and researchers. Shown here are the different connections or the different link between mental health and their academic performance. So you can see here that mental health issues among adolescents not only cause such problems, but they also negatively influence schooling. Then another, adolescents with mental health problems are at risk for schooling, and they may have increased difficulties primarily with academic achievement in school. Frequent feelings of mental health problems exhibit school difficulties, including poor academic achievements. Students who have reported feeling depressed are more likely to miss class, as well as feeling disengaged with the information being taught in classes, and this results in lower levels of academic performance. So shown here are the different connections, no? Different link between mental health and their academic performance. Okay, let's see the other slide. On the other hand, let's take a look of how students with good mental health status fare in their academic pursuit. Adolescents displaying strong mental health are likely to have better academic achievement compared to adolescents displaying weak mental health. No? Adolescents showing strong mental health have good social skills with both adults and peers, and their enhanced social and emotional behaviors have a strong impact on their academic achievement. So with all this, supporting studies, one can conclude that mental health does in fact affect academic performance. When students are not taking care, or when students don't take care of their minds, they don't function properly. But if they maintained it with, atmosphere, the minds work at its best, which will result, to academic success. Okay. Unfortunately, the COVID-19 pandemic have put more complexities to the situation, and it has affected tremendously. And it has doubled the proportion of the mental health problems faced by our college students, not only here in the Philippines, but worldwide, because they were imposed, there's what's this, there's a very strict ano na nga yun, health protocols, imposition of curfew for several months, physical distancing, di ba, and a lot more. And during the lockdown, millions of adolescents had, to stay at home, no? They were in social isolation, both from their peers and from the society, no? Yung mga bata, even our children, even kayo, mga students, no? You are not allowed to go out, no? You are forbidden to go out of your house and from your dormitories. And many countries, including the Philippines, implemented isolation policies for adolescents in particular, due to the fact that these individuals, have the potential to spread the virus easily to relatively older people, which may result in higher fatalities. No, so affected by the long months in lockdown, many adolescents had to spend their time at home and pursue their education through, the different digital platforms. And many adolescents faced with severe difficulties in pursuing their education at home, as well as they had problems in accessing to a good Wi-Fi connection. No, some students had gone back to school, especially those who are in the medical line. No, diba dyan sa AUP, the medical students are already back there at AUP. But the thing is, they are confined in their dormitories. They are not allowed to go outside, even just to have a short walk around the campus, or to inhale unpolluted air with, then you're also bombarded with, day-to-day assignments and quizzes. This have brought tremendous stress and anxiety, and this may negatively affect their mental health. Di po ba? Well, I heard a lot of friends, younger friends who are staying in the dormitory, that they are not allowed even to just go outside and have a breather, and that makes them, sad and lonely. No, many adolescents having mental health problems have faced with severe academic difficulties and drop out of school. During the pandemic, the dropout rates in adolescents have substantially increased across the world, and this in turn may have affected their schooling negatively, particularly their academic achievement. And the shattering of the educational system had severed students from more than just classroom. No, friends and extracurricular activities likewise. It has also cut off an estimated hundreds or millions of children and teenagers from school staff members whose open doors and compassionate advice help them to build self-esteem, to navigate the pressure of adolescence and cope with trauma. Mental health experts worry about the psychological toll on a younger generation that was already experiencing soaring rates of depression, anxiety, and suicide before the pandemic. Now, allow me, my dear students, to share to you the study conducted by several researchers, and they found out the different factors disrupting the academic performance of the students. This research will help inform students and administrators of the prevalent problem of mental health issue in college students. The data shows that stress 30.3%, which is the highest. Next is anxiety, 21.8. Sleeping difficulties, 21%. Depression is 13.5. These can all be factors affecting academic performance and preventing them from capturing and understanding the information presented in classes, thus preventing them from excelling in class or getting a good grade from their academics. Now, in this slide, it again showed the three major factors that affect the grades of the students, which are stress, okay, 31.8, the top ranking, then anxiety, 23.2, and depression, 15.4. How would you, by the way, differentiate stress? No, i-differentiate ka muna natin yung stress, anxiety, and depression. Kasi these three are the ones affecting, the mental health problems of our students. How would you differentiate stress, anxiety, and depression? Well, according to the book, The Power of Hope, stress is present. You are too much overwhelmed by what is happening in the present situation, no? So, yun yung kinakabahan ka kasi magkuquiz na kayo, namumroblema ka kasi may oral recitation o merong assignment na dapat ipass. So, that stress exists present, no? Then anxiety, meanwhile, are excessive future. You're already anticipating what lies ahead of you. Hindi pa nga nangyayari, namumroblema ka na, no? That's anxiety. Hindi pa nagko-quiz, nag-iisip ka na, baka hindi ka pumasa. Hindi ka pa nagsasubmit ng assignment, nag-iisip ka, baka hindi ito magustuhan ni ma'am, no? Baka marami kang iniisip, hindi pa nangyayari. That's anxiety. Depression is exists past, okay? What happened to you in the past had been bothering you and does affect your mental health status. Hindi ka na maka-move on, no? Your past had chained you to be more had chained you and parang nilumpo ka na at hindi ka na maka-move forward and hindi ka na maka-move on. These three will be there most of our lives, no? Naandyan na yung tatlong yan sa ating buhay. There is for us is how we will balance it, how are we going to manage it, and how are we going to maintain it. Now, depression is a significant predictor of a lower GPA and a higher probability of dropping out when combined with anxiety. According to one study, approximately 43% of students in the educational system have been treated or diagnosed with depression. Students who visited the counseling center and then remained in counseling as recommended were more likely to experience GPA increases. These results show that mental health issues are prevalent in our educational system, even there in AUP. Some reasons students feel these symptoms are due to high levels of stress, due to workload or not workload, due to their assignments, no, and being away from home. This feeling of depression overtake the minds of students, which make it difficult for them to focus on school and their classes, and the lack of motivation and a will to continue to live. This results in their grades suffering with their mental health. Now, here, stress, anxiety, and sleep difficulties are the top factors disrupting the academic performance of college students. No, a survey conducted which shows that 80% of college students reported experiencing stress on a daily basis. Sa araw-araw na ginawa ng Diyos na andyan din yung stress, no? Academic concerns like schoolwork, grades were the most commonly noted contributors of stress, no? And then 13% felt depressed at some point in their lives. 13% have been diagnosed with mental health condition, especially anxiety, no, yung excess future. 9% have contemplated to commit suicide. Ayun. According to the World Health Organization, approximately 1,100 college students commit suicide every year, and 24,000 college students attempted suicide. Well, this is beginning to be alarming since this suicide rate is going up each day. Di po ba tumataas ng tumataas? And our institution are not exempted. And this is a wake-up call for all of us, no? Students, teachers, administrators, church leaders, we should, we should come up with changes and improvement and interventions to be done as soon as possible so as to prevent lives from being halted. Okay, now, I conducted a quick mini survey. This is not official, okay? This is a disclaimer. This is not official. This is just a quick survey to determine the present mental health status of our students. Just to get the pulse of our student body, of what they feel and how they feel about their mental health. And the purpose of this mini survey is to, like what I've said, to determine their current mental health status so that we can come up with recommendations and intervention. Okay. We have 6 questions that was shared, and thank you to the student council for facilitating, the spread and sharing of the questionnaires. We have a good number of students who answered and participated in this quick survey. Now, this is the composition. The composition are the following. 53.1% comes from the College of Health, 21.9% from the CAH, 9.4% both from the COT and the COB, and the rest of the pie goes to the CST and the CON. Okay. Now, majority of those who took this mini survey are in their 3rd year level, okay? Followed by the 1st year level, and then the 4th year level, and the last is the 2nd year level. Now, like what I've said, many responded and have sent their answers. Many of them have, the same answer and the same content. So I just fused them and combined them as one. Now, what I will show you here, my dear friends, are their answers in verbatim, no? Exactly the same words that they use. And when I was looking at it last night, no, it really broke my heart. No, my heart really sank, and I felt really, really sad. And this would give you an eye view, my dear mentors, my dear teachers who are listening now. This would give you an eye view of how our students are feeling at this moment. Please take note that I highlighted in red the answers with a positive note. And you tell me later, no, how many amongst the participants who responded negatively and positively. Now, in the question, what is your current health status? This is what they answered. They said, oh, it's unstable. I'm unstable. My mental health status is unstable. My mental health status is terrible. I would say that I am quite okay, but maybe, no, undecided kung okay siya o hindi. My mental health status is depleting. My mental health status is very low. There is one from this slide that says, I can say that my mental health is normal and I am not suffering any clinical mental illness. Thank you, Lord. We have one in this slide. Then one said, my mental health status is not the best. My mental health as of the moment is in the worst possible condition. Oh, really, it breaks my heart. Then I'm suffering from anxiety. My mental health status is not well, is not that good, not so good, but I think I can somehow manage it. Then there's more. Not sure if it is good. Okay, he is not sure if his mental health status is good. Then one said that his mental health status is very bad. Then one said, I'm fine, yet I am tired. Then there are 4 or 5 who says that their mental health status is not good. There are 3 who said that they are depressed, 3 or 4. Okay. Then there's one that says, I am falling apart and this is a cry for help. There's one that says the mental health status is good. Then another one says that they felt exhausted and burnout. Meron nagsabi, medyo okay na hindi, no? And there's another one, positive one, that says, I can pretty much say that my mental health status is all right. Then another one said, sakto lang, no? Then another one, I'm better, my mental health status is better, or kind of not good. I have good mental health by God's grace. I felt tired but happy. LDK. Alam mo, hindi ko yun alam. Maybe it's an acronym, but I'm sorry, I really don't know what that means, LDK. Then this is what really makes my heart broken when I read this last answer from one of the students. He said, currently I'm okay. However, I do have days where I'm totally off and I do not want to be around anyone or do anything. And for 3 weeks straight, every Friday, I used to cry because of how difficult life has been. Oh, my dear brother or my dear sister, I don't know who you are, but if you are here, I just want to hug you. I just don't know if there is somebody from your dormitory or from your place who have, reached out to you, no? So it makes me feel really, really sad, no? Now, from that question, there are only 5 who answered positively, but majority of the respondents had given me an answer that would really, broke your heart, but really break my heart. We thought they are okay, but the truth is they are not. They are in a state wherein they need to have, they need to have a breather or a change in whatever they are troubling and bothering them. Maybe you wanted to know what are the things that bothers them and are giving them headaches, stress, and anxiety. Now, in the next few slides, I explored the different struggles that bothers them. And you can see from there the reason why their mental health status is not in the peak and is not faring well. So the question that I asked is, what are the struggles that you are experiencing right now? No, I got several disturbing answers, and let me read it. Academic burdens. If I am not mistaken, what she is trying to convey maybe is that there are, multiple quizzes coming from different professors, no, and that is too taxing in the life of a student. No, lack of motivation, pressure from school and family problems, staging. I'm struggling between my requirements since most of my subjects give us one, no? Ang gusto ko sabihin siguro, marami siyang subjects, marami siyang teachers, at lahat ng teachers na yon ay nagbibigay ng requirement at nagbibigay ng quiz every day, no? And then motivation for online class and requirements. Virtual classes, are indeed very, very challenging. And it's out of the norm. You can see the faces of your students because you cannot see the faces of your students because the videos are off. And you don't know, di ba, kung sila ay nakikinig or not, di ba? Then next, too heavy academic workload, pressure of deadlines, passing grades, and scores, very, very anxious on a lot of things, having a difficult time in focusing, remembering information, no, siguro nagiging forgetful na siya, no motivation to do online classwork, My grades are not that promising, and I struggle with my physical appearance and self-confidence too, no? So, maraming problema itong estudyanteng ito, no? Grades as well as yung siguro self-identity niya, no? The thought that I might retake worries me due to financial reason. Then decision making, online stresses, work stresses, and then the environment. I just don't know if this student is staying in the dormitory or staying in a faculty house or is staying somewhere, no? Okay, what are the struggles you're experiencing right now? Online classes, how to pass them. Waking up for the sake. Take note of this. No, it really punched me. No, it really punched me. Sabi niya, waking up for the sake of passing, not for learning anymore. No? So, nagiging parang robot-like na oh, I have to memorize this just so I can pass. But yung learning process parang hindi na na-achieve, no? Grades and people's expectation. My biggest problem would be academics again and family. Academics. I'm struggling with my academics and my faith, lack of motivation and energy. And another, the stress, the workloads and grades. So the struggle is that he is already burned out, adjusting to online class, being able to sleep well, anxieties. I am kind of struggling with time management, him or her being negative and insecure. Then the last is I'm still dealing with the death of my father, as well as the fact that I have not been around my friends for over 2 years. And so I don't have that support that I needed during the time he died. So you could just see how this student felt when his father died, and there is nobody around him who could provide support. No, I just wish that you know we can go there and just have this student. No, I have tallied and compiled and summarized the answer, and it boils down to academic related concerns, such as the requirements, the deadlines, the daily quizzes, the grades, and maybe cognitive decline. Cannot memorize, cannot remember, cannot focus on restrictions and limitations of interaction. Di ba? um, how would I say it? Um, we are limited to just stay within the confines of our rooms. Na minsan, if you've been there for the past months already, and you've been studying, you've been sitting, you've been facing your laptop 24 hours, because not really 24 4 hours, or you've been facing your laptop 8 hours a day, no? And you want to have a breather and you cannot just go out because of the restriction, limitation to interact, no? Then online related stress, identity crisis, and family problems. So those are the summary of the struggles that our students are facing. Then another one, what makes you emotionally drained? Constant examination and quizzes. Oh no, the piling up of work to do, which is sometimes the consequence of my actions. Schoolwork overload and personal problem, various external factors, pandemic, sickness, personal matters, the inability to socialize freely and personally. It's because of the lockdown. No, classes and personal matters, everything. Wow, quizzes for like almost every day. No, restrictions that limit interaction with friends, loads of information, infodemic na ito. I need to review, make me emotionally drained, and the never-ending self-loathing. No, and then the stressors. And then you have more, no? When I feel that my efforts, my perseverance, and sacrifices, most especially in my ACADS, is still not enough. And, if I were in the shoes of this student, I would really feel, down, No, I will really feel down. Breakdowns from online classes, uncertain of tomorrow, deadlines and demands, feeling lost and tired mentally and physically, the weight of my existence and responsibilities, thinking again about my dad, thinking about how life used to be, missing my friends. We really need to see this student. If he is listening right now, we really wanted to, reach out to you and, if we can hug you, we can just, talk over the phone or over Zoom, just to make you feel that we here in AUP are, are caring for you. We care for you. We care for what you are feeling. No. So what else? Having to do nothing but sit and listen all day, schoolwork, nothing I could think of, my requirements along with other chores, laboratory requirements, the ACADS again, maybe sitting for like a whole day in my study table, working for my paperworks and reviewing, and that's really physically draining. Then restrictions that limit interaction with friends. Really, this is important. Interaction with friends, being connected with friends is very, very important. You need the social support, every day. If you really feel down, you need some friends to, to tell you that we are here for you, backing you up, diba? Then, what makes you physically drained? Sitting for hours, studying, not getting enough sleep and not having high scores, sleepless night or less than 4 or 3 hours of sleep. Oh no, you better have a good night's sleep, my dear brother, my dear sister. Online classes and tons of activities, backlogs, quizzes, and exams. Having headaches because of spending too much time sitting and starting at the laptop for hours. And that is true, no? Later, we will give you recommendations. Then overwhelming requirements, lack of exercise, tiredness, waking up at 1 a.m. for classes. And this makes me unmotivated for the day. What? There's a class at 1 a.m. or maybe at 1 p.m. and that is nap time. Now, as you would notice, it's not about matters such as relationship. It's not about addiction or disorder that is bothering them, but it's all about academics. No. Now, I also requested them to give some, recommendations how to alleviate their present mental health condition, and they have given me brilliant suggestions that would pave the way and open their horizon, of those who will, help out plan an intervention program for the students. So what are the recommendations given by the students? A well-timed rest, no? And it says here very, 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 what's this? Detailed. Please don't start the SEM as early as January 3. Then they need a break for us to have at least an enough academic break each semester. For the school to prepare a limited face-to-face for all the programs in the tertiary level, extend deadline for the requirements and for the teachers to think they aren't only the instructors we have. Less schoolwork, wear your mask, be mature and responsible enough. What else? I hope the school give us, could have given us an academic break where we literally could rest from all the academic works, because I know this will also benefit even the professor. You are right on that. An academic break that is legit, not an academic break that is set on the weekends and on a holiday, plus lots of academic requirements. So that's not a break. No, I cannot consider that a break because you're still working, your mind is still working, and you are still busy. No, maybe an academic break that would allow you to go outside your room. You can go out of the confines of the dormitory and maybe have fun playing, not basketball because my contact yan, no, maybe ping pong or volleyball, pwede ba? ping pong or ano nga ba yun? Ano pa ba yun? Ping pong, etc., etc. No. Then, AUP needs to open the sports facilities. Yes. I guess you are right, no? I guess you are right. Not contact sports such as basketball, but table tennis and badminton, no? An academic break would be appreciated. The thought of not having to worry for an exam or quiz for the next day or week seems nice and would truly give me peace of mind. Get out from where I am. I am not happy anymore. See, this is a wake-up call again. It does not weaken. It does. It does not weaken. It does not weaken my spiritual life. Okay. Then prayers are also recommended. I hope next semester would be face-to-face. I really need therapy. So, my dear student, you need to talk with my mentors here, no? Take time to rest, take a break, get enough rest, stay organized as much as possible. Allow day pass to students for those who are fully vaccinated and stays near AUP. No? This is a four-letter word that strikes me. No? Quit. Recommendations you can give to alleviate your present condition. And what he recommended is for him to quit. It's sad. Then another recommendation, 1 week academic break, not just a prayer week. Because as much as the school wants to strengthen the spiritual life of the students, they don't give care truly to the mental health of the students. Then another recommendation, read my Bible and more time with God. Then finish my requirements ASAP and then listen to inspiring coming music. Open up my feelings, enough rest, talking with my family, spend time with the people I love, etc., etc. Have more care for students. Yes, take note of that. No, always pray and take a break. Eat and exercise and get help if needed. Rest and do nothing but hobbies and interests. To socialize with others as much as possible. Have a peace of mind by doing things that you love and don't take all the responsibility. Learn to delegate. Please tell our props. Eto po, my dear teachers who are listening, you are all my friends. The recommendation coming from our students is, please tell our professors to be kinder and to be considerate. Then the next recommendation is not to reload, but to deload next sem. No. Now, less restriction to those who are inside AUP that has no chance to go out. Life isn't going to be easy. There's no shortcut, and it applies to college as well. I try to think positively, though I am pessimistic most of the time. But I try to not fully dwell with the negativity and think of God's plan for me. No? What I'm experiencing right now has been experienced by many others before me. If they got past through this, I know I can do it too. Amen. And with God's grace, nothing is impossible. I hope others can keep on to this and just trust the process. Okay? This is very good. Then peace of mind by meditation and prayer, no bubble, and find time to meditate. Then another, we are now up to the second to the last slide of the recommendation. Set my mindset, avoid negativity. I hope deans will encourage their professors to be strict, but have the understanding and passion to know the student situation. No, be considerate, be flexible. 1 week academic break, because as much as the school wants to strengthen the spiritual life of the students, they don't give. We already read this. Okay. So self-care, rest, talk about your feelings, prioritize yourself, and do not be hard on yourself. Be confident and exercise. No, better diet and fresh air. Based on the recommendation that I got from the students, this is what I got and have it summarized. Okay. So here, teachers should be more considerate and understanding. I know that this teachers there in AUP are very, very much considerate and understanding, but I hope that you would double the portion of your understanding and being flexible and considerate to the students, because now is is different. It's out of the norm, and they really need your understanding and consideration. Then there should be a regular academic break. No, less schoolwork, less requirement. Open the sports facilities. Maybe they should walk around, practice healthy lifestyle, get enough sleep, walk around, run around the campus, eat a healthy diet, and go to a place um, that you can have, you can have talk with your family and with your friends, even if it is virtual or physical. Okay, so these are the humble summary recommendations that I gleaned, from the recommendations sent by the students. Academics cause stress and anxiety for students, which doesn't help with, the mental health illness. Not only that, but this condition reduce focus. Um, it reduces concentration. No, those with mental health conditions struggle more with functioning at school. We all know that. This leads to difficulty with schoolwork, thus worsening their academic performance. The effects of uh, the effects of mental health on academics can cause young people to drop out of the college, no? Diba? If they feel too overwhelmed, they likely become unmotivated, and they have struggles to succeed, or they will not go back anymore to your school, or they will stop going to school. Those who never receive treatment, or those who never receive help, those who were never reached out by, by teachers, by administrators, will likely to drop out from college, or will you will never see him again. Okay, okay, let's skip that. Now, caring for your mental health during COVID-19, I have here five tips, and very briefly, let's talk about that. Take breaks to relax and do activities you enjoy. So if you're in your home, always take, a 5 minute break, 30 minutes interval, 5 minutes break to, to just walk around your house and talk, no, talk with your parents if they're around, play with your pets, no. Now, if you are confined in your dormitories, go out of your room and walk down the hallway, up the hallway, no. But I am pleading with the management, with the administrators, that students should be allowed to walk around AUP, as long as, these students are confined in their dormitories and do not go out of the gates of AUP. Kung sila naman po ay nandiyan lang naman sa AUP, hindi naman lumalabas, they are already inside the AUP bubble. I think they should be allowed to go around, AUP, to walk around, breathe in fresh air, no, meditate under the trees, enjoy the beautiful wonders of nature. This is, I think, and so far, the cheapest and the best relaxation break I can think of, uh, na pwedeng magawa natin. Then, try mindfulness activities. Um, Maybe some of you have been listening to music, but you should select, the kind of music that will ease your, your your mental health state, no. Enjoy good music that you like, for it also improves, focus and concentration. Then prayer, it is an essential tool to help maintain focus and concentration. And I got this from the lecture of Dr. Ralph. No, give your brain a workout. The more you use certain skills, no, playing good concentration games, no, it will help you to have good focus and will improve your concentration ability. Then next, take care of your body with exercise and a healthy diet and a good sleep. No, uh, you are already bombarded with so many lectures of how to take care of your body, um, as a temple of the Holy Spirit. And honestly, you would say that, well, you already know this. I already know this by heart. But the next thing that you should do, my dear student, is to put it into practice. You can care for your mental health if you have a regular exercise regimen, even inside the four corners of your house or in the dormitory. Or better yet, you go out in the open air and do your routine. It improves concentration. It has a relaxing effect and reduces stress. It also helps improve the oxygen supply to the brain. That's why if you exercise, it would not only strengthen your immune system, but it would boost your happy hormones, the endorphins, and you would feel a lot better than when you are just seated in your chair. Remember, weak circulation in the brain weakens the memory and concentration. So don't just slump there in your chair. No, wag lang nakaupo dyan. You've got to move and got to waken up the cells in your body so that you will have a good concentration skills, and you can focus and you can memorize better and understand the lecture of your teacher. Then get enough sleep. If you lack sleep, it weakens your concentration and it increases restlessness. So a good night's sleep supports the function of the brain and the memory. Then get rid of cigarillo, alak at droga. No, this can damage your brain. Then, of course, eat a healthy food. No, keep your blood sugar levels. Drink plenty of water. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Then know the facts. Understand the risk. Don't just believe everything you hear or everything you saw on TV or over the internet. You should, select information from reliable sources. No, sometimes we are too stressed out because of the loads of information we get from unreliable sources. That's why only get information, only get materials from trustworthy websites. And it should be backed up by peer-reviewed research and should be well-founded. And four, stay connected with family and friends and a trusted support system. Okay? Having good friendships or relationships and social connection plays an important role, no, of us having a mental health state, no? With self-isolation, oh, it's already 4:45. With self-isolation and social distancing, no, in measure, we can really start to feel the loss of human contact. And this can have a negative impact on our mood. So it's more important than ever that we stay connected with our loved ones, no? Kahit na nga, even in virtual forum, you have to do that. Have a virtual meetups with friends and family in the absence of a face-to-face or face-to-face contact. A video call could help to bridge the gap. Scheduling a regular catch-up can give you both something to look forward and help you to brighten your day. And next, ask for help if feelings become too overwhelming. Yes, that is right. Seeking help is often the first step, okay, towards getting and staying well. But it can be hard to know how to start or where to turn to. It's common to feel unsure and to wonder whether you should try to handle things on your own. No, but it's always okay to ask for help. Even if you're not sure that you're experiencing a specific mental health problem, if you feel that you are not okay, if you feel that your mental health status is not okay, go and seek for help. Okay. There are, like what I've said, there are so many competent teachers, home deans, no? Those people in the guidance office here in AUP, you have a complete lineup of mental health experts, psychologists, psychiatrists, guidance counselors. Go and talk to them. No, it pays to reach out before it is too late. And this is now the third to the last slides that I have. How can our school help? No, how can AUP help? Schools have a unique and critical role to play in supporting student mental health and well-being in proactive, comprehensive, and collaborative ways. Mandated mental health curricula is one significant systematic step to address and improve student mental health and well-being at school. I hope that, well, Dr. Orbon is here, Dr. Gumaro is here. I know that you have a good lineup of modules on mental health. I hope that this can be institutionalized in, in AUP, so that this can, reach our students who are staying in the dormitory, our students who are staying, in their own houses, those who are having health problems can be helped. No, protecting the mental health of a student is a public health issue that appears even more critical in the context of a pandemic, and we have to do more now, especially because it's pandemic. Okay, 5 T's for mental health education in schools. So what are the 5 T's? Talking, training, teaching, tools, and taking care. Okay, what are the 5 T's for mental health education? Talking, training, teaching, tools, and taking care. And this will be my second to the last slide. Well, students need open and, ongoing conversations. Hindi ito mga marites, no? Hindi ito yung mga marites, but these are students who would like to have conversations to help them decrease their, stigma, no? The earlier this conversation start, the better. Since according to World Health Organization, 50% of all the mental health begins before adolescent, no? And it worsen when they reach the college days. And unfortunately, many cases go undetected and untreated. That's why we suggest that these conversations, this mental health awareness should be done early on. And I hope that there is, in one school that I went to, okay, in Malaysia, what they do is they have a Zoom platform. They just turn it on. It's 24/7. Somebody, yung nagre-reliable lang that is manning the Zoom platform, and then anybody can just get in. Anybody can just zoom in, can just click, can just talk. No, anything under the sun. No, um, they don't have to put their real name. You can put your pseudonym if you feel like just like talking because you feel lonely, you feel sad, you feel depressed, you have anxiety attack and panic attack, then you just get in that Zoom platform and talk. And there are people there who are willing to talk with you. No, that's talking. No. So that's one kind. Just to give you an idea, I don't know how you could, how creative you could be. No. Then next, providing appropriate training for teachers and staff. This, no, educators, teachers, home deans, no, need training to appropriately identify and respond to signs of mental health issues. Teachers are often the first adults that students turn to in times of distress, in times of crisis, in times of troubles. But then many teachers, many home deans reported that they feel that they are, unprepared to support students directly, or they don't know how to refer, for additional services or for immediate medical attention. So schools need resources to, provide an in-depth training to an on-site mental health support services to comprehensively and effectively address the needs of the students. But I am happy that there in AUP, there are so many who are capable and qualified, teachers, home deans that would assist you in your problem, if ever and whenever you have trouble, then you can just go and talk to them. Then third, teaching, incorporating mental health info to teaching. Mental health education can be integrated into academics and classwork in any way that doesn't overly burden teachers. For example, A social studies lesson may discuss mental health topics such as trauma, such as stigma, and teachers can easily bridge and incorporate mental health teaching in the curricula and in the subject matter. I know that Dr. Orbon had done this already, Dr. Ralph, Dr. Shian, no, and I hope that this could be replicated. Then, providing helpful tools for students. School counselors play a certain role in providing direct services to students in need. However, I think the ratio of a school counselor, a guidance counselor to a student is beyond compare. My guess is there one counselor to more than 150 to 200 students in AUP. So counseling and giving pieces of advice to students would be very, very taxing and would be a slow process. So we would suggest that educators, teachers incorporate mental health building tools and modules into the school activities such as mindfulness, relaxation techniques, or physical exercise, or sharpening their skills. This way, it could help the students from their boredom and their stressful life. And number 5, which is the last, taking care of teachers. Okay, it's not only the students that we will take care of, but also the what? The teachers. In addition to addressing the mental health needs, the school also needs to make sure to support the teachers' mental health needs as well. No, teachers also experience the high level of daily stress, which also has a negative impact on students' social adjustment and academic performance. That's why we also need to take care of the health, of the welfare, and the well-being of our beloved teachers. You can have, mental health wellness program for teachers, teacher mentoring programs. This way, mga kapatid, both the teachers and the students' mental health and well-being are taken care of, and both will provide the school with exemplary accomplishment in academic performance, because all of them, students and teachers as well, they feel loved, they feel loved, they feel cared for, and they feel that they are appreciated. Okay, so moving on, how students can support. Well, in this presentation, we found out that our students in AUP are, experiencing symptoms of depression. No, this is a fact. No, they are experiencing symptoms of depression. They are stressed out. They have anxiety, and it continues to increase, now reaching its highest levels because of the stress factor that is due to coronavirus pandemic, as well as the stressors that is brought by the academics. Now, in the mini survey that I conducted, students said their mental health had negatively impacted their academic performance within the past months, and that some of the college students are struggling with loneliness and feeling isolated. In the survey, we found out that the need for university teaching staff and faculty to put mechanisms in place that can accommodate students' mental health needs. Faculty also needs to be flexible. Ito na po, faculty also needs to be flexible and should remind students that their talent is not only solely demonstrated by their ability to get a top grade, but the responsibility of submitting their requirements, their quizzes without being stressed. No? Teachers and faculty, aside from being flexible, should be understanding and should be considerate. I ask no place for misinterpretation here, my dear professors. I know that all of you are very, very much considerate, but I just hope that there is a structure, there is a scheme wherein mag-usap-usap yung mga teachers para yung mga quizzes would not fall na lahat kayo ay nagbibigay ng quizzes and natatagtad ng quizzes yung mga estudyante natin araw-araw. So maybe as Kim would do, so that all of you can, give a quiz, but it would not tax the minds of the student. Okay. All students should receive mental health education, ideally as part of the required curriculum. So that's my recommendation, our recommendation. No, let's have a more proactive program on mental health that would cater to the mental health needs of our students. Okay, let me leave you with a passage coming from 1 Corinthians 16:14. It says, let all that you do be done in love. So teachers, students, whatever you do, uh, if ever you are thinking of reaching out to your students, no, please do it in love and with love. Thank you so much, and God bless.
Amen, Dr. Lalaine. I know that all of us have been enlightened by the message that we have heard this afternoon. Yes, heart reactions, everyone. Now we have come to the interactive part of our program wherein you will be asked. You are now allowed to ask questions. You can type your questions on the comment section or in our Zoom chat box, and I will be reading these questions, and our speaker and the other panelists may answer this question. So, while we are still waiting for the other questions, I would like to thank Dr. Lalaine for explaining to us also the difference between anxiety, stress, and depression. Because sometimes we get these things interchanged, and it's really good that it was clarified to us this afternoon. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys here, you can react if you related to some of those responses that we've seen this afternoon, diba? Some of us here are really going through a lot of things that we may not discuss with our friends or those around us, but it's okay. We're all in this together. So now let us address the questions that is being asked here. The first question here po is, are you ready po for the questions?
Yes, Mom Sulit, I have invited my mentors. They are all here to answer the questions. I have, we have Dr. Mylene Gumarao, and we have Dr. Shian Castillo and Dr. Flor Marticio. I know that Dr. Orbon is also here. Sir John Tayaben is here also. Okay, so there are
Okay.
4 or 5 of them who could answer your question.
Okay, so we have a lot of professionals that are here to answer our concerns. Okay, so for our first question po, this question comes from the perspective of a concerned friend. So here's a little story background of the story. So a little later last year, I had a friend who openly shared about an experience which caused anxiety and even gave suicidal thoughts. What I did was just listen and pray for her. I asked her if she would allow me to inform the expert, but she said not to tell them. Now, the question here po is, what are the things I need to do if I experience the same situation again?
Okay, we have an expert to answer that question. Let me call on Dr. Gumarao, and also Dr. Gumarao, are you around? And Dr. Marticio. Okay, Doc Gumarao, please.
Okay, thank you and happy Sabbath, everyone. So, if I got you right, the question goes like this. If you hear something about suicide, what will you do? Is that your question? Or you were informed by a particular concerned individual that it will remain between you and her and never say or never inform any expert? Is that the question? Okay.
Yes po. Like, what
Okay.
can this friend do in that situation?
Okay. Now let me start with the principle of confidentiality. Now in counseling, okay, we would like to assure the client that everything that will be transpired has been transpired between counseling session will remain confidential, except if the life is at stake, if the property is at stake, and if there is harm to self, harm to others, and harm to property. Like for example, yung friend mo sinabi, susunugin ko yung SAO mamayang gabi. Huwag mong sabihin ha, between you and me. Now, your responsibility is to inform the third party. Who is the third party? Third party is Sir June. Because Sir June is the one in charge at the SAO. So if something bad happened, you are liable. You are you have responsibility because you did not inform the third party. So that is what we call liability to the third party. You are not going to betray your friend. You are not going to uh, to break the confidentiality, but that is pasok doon sa damage of property. Now, when it comes to suicidal ideation, suicidal thoughts, and suicidal attempt, iba-iba kasi yun eh. Suicidal intent is thinking of suicide. That is an intent. Suicidal ideation is thinking of killing self. Suicidal attempt is a plan of carrying it out. Now, kung suicidal intent, parang thinking of suicide, hindi naman niya sinabing siya yon. Pero pwede rin naman niyang sabihin na thinking of suicide, buti pa siya patay na. Paano kaya mamatay? Okay? So that is suicidal intent. Suicidal ideation is the thought of suicide. I plan to kill myself. Plano pa lang. Or I want to kill myself. Okay. Suicidal attempt, you already have the gadget, you already have the time, you already have the place. So we call that psychiatric emergency. Pero kung yung suicidal thoughts lang, okay. Paano kung natuluyan? Okay, I'll give you a sample. 3 years ago, may gusto kong mamatay. Gusto ko lang mamatay. Wala siyang pinagsabihan. Eh di sabi nung kaibigan, sabihin natin sa mami mo kung anong problema mo. Sabihin mo sa teacher mo, sa guidance counselor mo. Hindi, wag mong sabihin na atin lang ito. That was 3 years ago or 4 years ago. After 2 years, hindi pa umabot ng 4 years, nag-suicide nga. Okay, now what will you do to keep the confidentiality and keep it na hindi mo sabihin dahil you are afraid to betray the trust or you want to save the life? Now again, in psychology, everything can be kept confidential except the 3: harm to self, harm to others, and harm to property. Pero ganito lang ha, I understand your situation kasi I had been through your age. Ganyan din ako nung sa age nyo. Parang takot akong mawala ng kaibigan. Okay? Naalala ko high school ako, may ganyan din akong kaibigan. Hindi naman siya nag-suicide. Pero wala pa akong alam nun sa psychology. So nilihim talaga namin. Pero nagtanan naman. Okay. Nagtanan siya. Na effect nung family problem. Pero hindi, parang na-blame din kami noon, yung grupo namin, na-blame ng parents. Alam na pala namin na may problem. Hindi namin sinabi doon sa parents kasi sabi ng friend namin, huwag sasabihin. Pero ang plano niya, uminom nung, alam niyo yung Bertayolate, yung pampapula ng kuko. Okay? Yun ang plano niyang inumin. Pero sinabi namin, huwag. Masarap mabuhay kasi may boyfriend siya. Pero ang effect naman noon, hindi nga nag-suicide, nagtanan naman. Pero ang kinip namin, yung secret ng friend namin na huwag sasabihin sa mami na may friend siya. Kasi buntis. Okay. High school kami noon. That was long time ago. Hindi pa kayo pinagbubuntis. Okay. Oh. Yun. Parang nakakontribute kami doon sa buhay ng bata na ka-age namin. So parang noon wala pa akong alam sa psychology, but for now, that's why I said I understand your age, but you have to be educated in terms of self-harm, yung maghiwa-hiwa dito na wala namang intention, marami kasi na ganon. So yun. Martisio might have other answer.
Okay, that was well said, Dr. Gumara, but I just want to add something to that.
Yes.
Part of the question says, what will you do if ever it happens to me or to another friend? Okay, since you have no training, no? let's presume you have no training yet about handling suicidals. So the first thing that you should do if someone expresses to you that kind of emotion is to refer the person, refer your friend to someone who is capable. So the first thing that competent enough to handle the matter. Disregard. No? Disregard yung please don't tell it to anyone. No. No. So, narinig natin yan from Dr. Gumaraw. Hindi dapat ilihim yan. So, refer if you are in the school, if you're in AUP, we have competent guidance counselors in the Guidance Services Center. Refer it there. Or we have a strong psychology department. We have a lot of psychologists there and counselors. Refer it there. No, refer that person. And if it happens to you, I hope you won't keep that a secret. Your life is very special. So reveal that negative emotion to someone whom you trust. But it should be someone who is capable to handle the matter.
Amen. Thank you, Paul, for your answers. I hope the person who asked this question was enlightened and you now know how to deal with the situation when you are faced with this situation again. And I really love what both our docs and moms here have said that you as a friend, you know, it's sometimes we overlook this fact that as a friend we want to be so concerned about our friends that their struggles become our struggles too. But like what we have heard this afternoon, you may betray the trust for now. What would you choose? Or save a life. So as a friend, it's your responsibility also to, you know, save the life of your friend. So you may betray the trust for now, but you will be saving his or her life later on. So thank you for your answers, ma'am.
Let me add,
And
Lindsay.
yes,
It's
po.
not betrayal. It's not betrayal, but it's saving. To put it
Yes,
into
po. Yes.
positive, to put it into positive term, it is not
Yes.
betrayal, but it is saving.
Yes, po. Okay, po. Okay, so I hope this person was satisfied with the answer. Our next question here is a question that deals with mental health and academics naman po. So this person says that she has a good relationship with the Lord and she always connects with him always, but is now struggling with mental health and learning ability. She says that I used to learn and perform so well, but I am academically declining. I don't share this openly because as a Christian, mental challenges are also associated to lack of faith sometimes or doubting God's power in my life. I often have a short attention span and very poor memory. I feel guilty for being unmotivated and irritable because of my learning challenges. How do we connect with our counselors in the university while staying anonymous? I want help, but I am so fearful of being judged.
So who can answer that? Dr. Ralph, can you answer that? Dr. Shian, and then Dr. Gumaro, since you are from that school.
Dr. Shian, I think she's from the guidance office.
Okay. So first of all, you can the question is how can we connect to the guidance counselors? No, our guidance office is always is open and like can contact us online. Have a Facebook page and actually um we do contact our students on a regular basis. So, and during the orientation of the colleges, the guidance counselors oriented specific colleges. So, you know your guidance counselors are, and you know how to contact them. But we also have Facebook page, the AUP Mental Health and Psychosocial Support, where you can send messages us on how you can contact the guidance office. Now, another is that the student mentioned how the student wanted remain anonymous. Okay. Let me assure you that aside from dun sa sinabi ni Dr. Gumaraw and Dr. Flor Martisio, aside from those issues on suicide and other things, your issues will remain confidential to us. And we would also like to assure that we don't judge people. Okay? I actually know, I kind of understand what people are going through right now. So siguro, yes, even religious individuals can go through tough times also, 'di ba? And it could probably be of a lot of reasons. Baka merong ibang thought or ibang knowledge, ibang interpretation about studying. Merong and your guidance counselors will help you determine bakit kaya ako nagkakaganito? Bakit nagdidwindle despite the fact na nananalangin naman ako palagi, active naman ako sa church, but why am I experiencing this? Then your guidance counselor can be able to help you determine those reasons and can be able to assist you on what things to do later on. Okay? So I hope that you find the courage not to stay anonymous kasi you really can you can trust us, okay? So kung wala naman tayong issue on suicide or on hurting other people, especially this academic, what stays in the virtual counseling room stays in the virtual counseling. And we will be able also to help you be confident enough to really um find the courage to, you know, to accept what you're going through because there's really nothing wrong with that. People who loses motivation, people who finds themselves dwindling in their studies, who procrastinate, these are natural reactions to an abnormal situation. And we are still in an abnormal situation. So be kind to yourself. Whenever you experience that, I hope that you don't judge yourself for being too weak, for not doing well, because in reality, that is still, I mean, for in a general situation, normal pa rin siya. So it's good that you consult your guidance counselor so we help you determine normal pa rin nga ba siya or anong magagawa kung hindi na talaga siya normal. Kung nagpo-prolong na siya, kung masyado ng madalas, yung ganyan. So we'll help you track that out for you.
Okay po, thank you. Yes, ma'am, I totally agree. And yes, ma'am Castillo has, I know she's been a big help also to a lot of students. And I can attest to that, that our psychology department, all these professors are really secret keepers. And so I think to answer this question also is, I think the first step here is trust. You really have to overcome the problem you're facing. You have to have this trust that you really need help, or you have to trust these professionals that they really know what they can help you with, and they know what to tell you, because they really studied this and they know what are the steps that we can take. So thank you, ma'am. So I hope those listeners here, I hope we all learn to trust, and we should always remember that they are secret keepers. We can trust them po. Ayan. So I hope the person who asked this have been enlightened also. And for the question here next, this is related to being motivated naman in terms of mental health and in regards to being in the ministry. So this person said that I'm not motivated in doing school works, that I only do my school works before the sem ends, but I am motivated and really looking forward to the ministries that I am involved in. Is this a mental health problem? If so, how can I overcome this?
Dr. Ralph, can you answer that?
I hope that you could hear me clearly. And po, good afternoon, everyone, and happy Sabbath. Siguro po with the specific concern about the ministry and also the study, it could be probably related to the striking the balance. So probably the concern would be on how to balance everything in relation to the motivation as well as the ministry. Well, as of the moment, it's really good to have ministry, and at the same time to be motivated in class. So just make sure that what you're doing would be actually I mean the ministry that you're doing would also be involved several aspects of your learning, because when you are actually motivated, when you have learning skills that you need for your ministry, the ministry that you're doing would be much better compared to the fact that when you don't have any background about learning. So I think what would answer that would be about the balance of the two. Kasi it's very important that you also learn and you also feel motivated while also doing the ministry. So that you would be able to be more effective in doing what you really wanted to do in life. Kasi it's more of the interest eh. So if you're asking if it is a mental health concern, we may need to understand first how we're functioning. If you are already affected, if you are already dysfunctional because you're too focused on your ministry and that you could not function anymore, that you're already affected, that you feel very down, you feel very sad because you cannot focus on the other tasks that you are doing, then maybe you may need to consult a professional, the guidance office, so that you may be able to look at the balance. Kasi yun talaga ang pinaka-importante when it comes to that. Maybe mas maraming percentage on the ministry, but then again, your task, the present situation na you should be also be focusing on ay hindi nabibigyan ng pansin. You're not giving percentage on that. So it's very very important that you always look at the the balance of everything, kasi that would lead you to feel good about yourself as well as your ministry. There's nothing wrong with being motivated and also at the same time doing the ministry. Kasi minsan, maybe you're too exhausted, you're too focused on the task na sa ministry that you tend to forget about the other aspects. Kasi 'di ba there are different types of health, the spiritual health, mental health, physical health. So dapat it should be on the right perspective of everything, so that you would be able to get an optimal capacity to thrive during this time. I think Dr. Castillo has an additional for that.
Siguro another thing to look into is baka yung interest, yung course that the student is taking is not actually in line with his or her interest. That usually is the case kapag hindi mo gusto yung course na tinitake mo and like you want other stuff, 'di ba? You want to involve in other things, lalo na kapag masyadong highly academic yung course pagkatapos, I mean, lahat naman ng courses highly academic, pero hindi nasa-satisfy yung ano ba, yung like for outreach, ganyan. Pero yun din yung dapat nating look into because in my experience, na-realize ko before na kapag pala gusto ko yung ginagawa ko, I can also do ministry at the same time kasi they will always go together, especially in our curriculum here in the university. Hindi natin tinatanggal yung ministry. In fact, they complement each other. It's just a matter of finding your area of interest, 'di ba? Merong mga pagkakataon na pwede pa rin tayong nakakapag-aral ng mabuti and still do ministry at the same time because we can blend them together. So, maganda rin talaga kagaya ng suggestion ni Sir Ralph, you can see a counselor and let's see kung nandun ka ba talaga doon sa interested na degree program na sinusunod mo. Kasi kung hindi, it's not actually procrastination. It's just that ayaw mo lang talaga yung pinag-aaralan mo at mas nakakakuha ka ng satisfaction dun sa ginagawa mong ministry kasi doon ka mas interested. But kung maa-align ka dun sa course na gusto mo, at the same time gives you the opportunity to do ministry, kagaya ng sinasabi ko, they can actually blend together. You can, diba, ano, so if yung parang, o kahit nagde-dentistry ako, I still do things. I like studying dentistry and I like ministering at the same time, and there's no problem with it because they are both my interest.
Yes po, I completely agree. A good takeaway from this is what Mom said na I think we should find ways to integrate ministry with the course that we are taking. And for sure, there will be really a way. God will really make a way for ministry to be integrated into the course that you are taking. So I think that is the last question that we have for our question and answer portion for now. Maybe we need another segment for this, or if somebody wants to ask more questions for the next time. And yes, before I also end this Q&A, I would like to appreciate also our psychology department from AUP. I remember last SEM, I appreciate the psych department. They really went out of their way to visit us in our dorms, and they handled a special Sabbath for us. We did activities in relation to addressing our mental health, and it was really really fun. It's something that broke the ice or our normal routines here in the dorm, and I really love the effort that you all put into that po, psych department. Thank you so much for that. And I hope we will have more of this and we can relate more to our students and we have a good fellowship together. So thank you for that po. Any last advices or any last words for our listeners and worshipers po for this afternoon? Maybe Ma'am Lane wants to say last advice or last habilin.
Yeah, last habilin. Okay. Well, I know that the psychology department, the guidance office, are doing, are doing well in extending help, mental help to our students. Um, just a recommendation for the school that we revisit the school policies and the academic structure. The requirements for students, especially now that we have this COVID case, no? We also have to, I think, revisit the campus rules, no? Di ba? Kasi ano na, nasa level 1 na tayo. All of us here are already going out, no? And allowed to go outside, no, even the kids can go to the malls already. So I think the management, the administrators could revisit the campus rules. Maybe the dormitories can already go out, and have a walk through, around the campus, and then just go back again, just to have a breather and all. As I take a look at the uh, that is what they claim, or that is what they claim, or they wanted to have a free time going around the campus, to have a breather, and maybe to play and have some me time outside the dormitory. And then um like what I've said, the school policies also should be revisited. We'll be talking more about that, but not here. But not here. We'll be sending, we had our mental health summit last month, and we had come up with a framework that can be done in schools, in workplaces and all, and we will be submitting that to AUP, no? So um, I guess it should not be announced here. So thank you so much again. I would like to thank was it the school council or school government for coming up with this very novel program. We really have to come up with this kind of program, mental health, no? And like what I've said, we have very competent army of psychologists and guidance counselors there in AUP. Actually, those people there, Dr. Ralph, Dr. Shian, Dr. Marticio, Dr. Gumaro, Dr. Orban, these are our core team in the Adventist Mental Health Professionals Club, or the AMHA. And they are extending their services not only to AUP, but also to the other unions within Southern Asia Pacific Division. That's why what I'm trying to point out in my talk this afternoon, if these people have been extending, their services to the unions, to the schools outside of the community, you should, the students and the student body, as well as the teachers around, should, avail of the services that is being extended by the mental health team there in AUP.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lilin, and to all our panelists here and members of the psych department. We truly appreciate you spending time with us and addressing these concerns. I'm sure there are still lots of questions in our listeners' mind, but we hope we'll have another part of this series. And now, if there are no more questions, we will proceed to the next part of our program, which is the closing remarks of our very own Pastor Kenneth Patilan.
Good afternoon and happy Sabbath, everyone. Um, first, of, first of all, I would like to praise the Lord for this wonderful opportunity that our guest speaker, Ma'am Dr. Lalaine Alfanoso, visited us in our virtual AY service, and I really intended to join the Zoom. It is because for the last 2 days I was busy doing some stuff in our Cavite Mission constituency meeting, and even this morning I had a part in our worship service, but I really reserved this time just to be in the Zoom to appreciate the ministry of our speaker, Ma'am Dr. Lalaine Alfanoso, the rest of the panelists in our AY service. And again, praise the Lord for this wonderful opportunity. And I hope that the lecture that we have heard this afternoon would be a big help to our students here in AUP. And yes, I agree that it's really hard and it's very challenging, even in my part as a spiritual leader for the for young people here in AUP. It's really a big challenge for me, especially to work hand in hand with the psychology department. And I remember for the last time that I have been visiting dormitories until the time that I wasn't able to visit them. It is because of the restrictions, and so I did something something different just to talk with our students. I remember for the last few months I visited them through Zoom, and then yes, I heard it a while ago during the lecture that facing your computer for many hours is really a challenging part, kasi talagang sa akin talagang sumasakit talaga ulo ko eh. When we had a meeting with this committee, tapos meron na naman, and we have a meeting with the AY Council, and after that I still have some Bible studies and visitations, so masakit din talaga sa ulo. I understand also the part of the students that sometimes they are challenged with their spirituality, kasi nga they are bombarded with their school activities. And yun lang, it's really hard to make some solutions and what can we do for our young people here in AUP. But for that, I really thank the Lord because of this wonderful lecture and messages that we have heard, na nawa po ito ay makatulong sa ating mga estudyante dito sa AUP. Once again, Doc Lalaine, I'm very thankful na bumisita po kayo sa amin. Bagaman ito ay Zoom lang, but we are so very thankful. So in behalf of the Adventist Youth Ministries Department, talagang kami po talaga ay nagpapasalamat sa inyong ministry na pinagkaloob sa amin.
Thank you po.
Thank you, Pastor Ken. We will now proceed to the giving of our virtual certificate of appreciation. I will be reading the citation. The Philippine International Church Adventist Youth Ministries presents this certificate of appreciation to Dr. Ma Rizalyn Alpanoso, the SSD Health Ministries Director, for her willingness to be God's instrument in delivering the message with the topic on mental health during the AY program of Philippine International Church Adventist Youth Ministries Department. Her dedication and selfless service promotes spiritual development among the youth and to lead them to Jesus. Signed by Mr. Jensel Rael Celera, AY Programming Head, Mr. Glenn Mardelana, our servant leader for AYM, and Pastor Kenneth Patilan, our youth pastor of PIC. We truly appreciate and thank you po for your dedication and for being a part of our program this afternoon. And now, with that being said, thank you again. We can now proceed to our closing song, to be rendered by the Music Society of Nurses, and they will be rendering the song entitled All Praise Rising.